goodness. Oh, we're winding this down. We're getting close to ending the show. D'Ambro's give me my first sangria. All right. I didn't know how to introduce this song, and I actually thought about it for a while, and I decided just to tell you a story, because D'Ambro was talking about I was singing songs about me. And I really, well, some of the songs are about me, but I just want to tell you a story about me. I am a child of divorce. My parents were divorced when I was very young. And when we met my stepfather, his name was George Booker Sisson. And we were supposed to call him Mr. Booker. Now, for those of you who don't know, black people in the South, we put a surname in front of everybody who is older. So we supposed to call him Mr. Booker. But my baby brother couldn't say Booker.
Oh, what did he say?
He called him Boo Boo. Now this is the 70s, y'all. So we had to call this, he said, well, Michael calls me Boo, everybody calls me Boo. So we called this man Boo Boo. Now I lived in the ghetto. So my friends just loved that. Now, he was a man, he was a very odd little man, funny man. He was a funny man, actually. But one of the great things about him, he always talked about people making an effect on the world and what you can do. And one effect he had was he was a member of the Tuskeegee Airmen. He was a part of the support team of the Tuskeegee Airmen. And when I went to school, we didn't learn much about the Tuskeegee Airmen. So now kids learn about the Airmen, but he would tell those stories about the Airmen. Well, when he retired, when he retired, him and my mom had everything they wanted. About this time of the year, we started talking about Christmas gifts. October, because anything they wanted, they had. So we had to start trying to get ideas. And so my brother and sister were at a craft show, and this guy walked up to their table, and he had a baseball cap on with the Tuskegee Airman logo. And my brother, who's like 350 pounds, he says, "Hey man, you know that's a nice hat." He says, "Oh, yeah man." He says, "Where can we get that?" So the guy gave him the information how to get the hat, and they wrote it all down. The man turned to leave, and they realized he had on their bomber jacket. My brother stood up and screamed at this poor man, "Where'd you get the jacket?" Poor man, this is an old man now. You don't just be screaming at old people. But the man turned around and says, "Well, sir, son, it's very hard to find. It's very hard to find, and it's really expensive." But they said, "Well, here's the information." So my sister went online and she found one store that had this jacket, and it was like $900. And then they have to call me because I'm the one with the credit card. And my sister calls me, says, "Andre found the jacket, it's $900. I said, "Well, you gotta get the jacket." And she goes, my sister, who's the practical one, she goes, "Boy, are you crazy? We're supposed to be cut back on Christmas. Every year we say we're gonna cut back on what we spend. We're gonna spend $900 on one jacket. We gotta get the jacket." And my buddy says, "Your brother said the same thing." So we got the jacket. So Christmas morning comes, and he opens up this box. Now, you guys are us. We're the gifts from the kids, and you're my mother. And he opens the jacket, he looks at it, and he turns. Now, the gift is from here. "Alice, where did you get this coat?" Mom says, "Oh, George, they looked all over for this coat." And he turns it around, he looks at the back of it, and goes, "Now, the credit card's sitting over here, y'all. Alice, they spent a lot of money on this coat, didn't they?" He says, "Yeah, George, they did whatever you want you to have." So he set the coat on his lap and didn't say anything for quite a while. And then finally he said, "Dad, do you like the coat?" And he said, "You know what, guys, I gotta tell you something. When I got out of the service, I wanted this coat, couldn't afford it. And when I finally could afford it, I couldn't find it. I wanted this coat for 50 years. That was the single best Christmas gift I ever got." Now, just a slight tap. They were going to flying back from Arizona, and he had the coat on. And they were getting on a plane, and they sat down, and the pilot walked, and they were sitting near the back, and the pilot walked all the way down the plane. And he went to my stepfather, he says, "Dad, sir, were you a member of the Airmen?" And he said, "Yes, I was." And he said, "Would you give me the honor of sitting in first class?" Only time my family flew first class. My mother, being a woman, she turned to him and said, "You know what, George, you know where that coat every time we fly." That's enough. So we got to make our effects any way we can, y'all.
We don't need it.
You know, as singers, all we can do, I mean, I can make it laugh a bit. Hopefully we make it smile or sometimes touch you a little bit. But, you know, make your effect any way you can. Here we go. Time has to take me